Beautiful ignited souls, we are ready for a new creation. Beautiful ignited souls, thank you for joining us on the Us Shape. I am Crime Queen, your partner in crime. The crime, of course, is the crime of self-love. This is where we are just loving ourselves. This is where we are permitting ourselves the discovery of who we are. We are no longer waiting for someone to say, you are such, you are such. We are uncovering, we are pulling out the veil and saying we are ready to see who we are. But to do this, you've got to be on the us ship. Okay, so I just thought of something that really rings and it echoes very close to my heart. I was watching David Lyon and spiritualist hypnosis, magician, and so on and so on. So there is this guy is very talented, but I also see him as someone so authentic in his art, and so I was hypnotized watching him, but enough to remember because that's what we are meant to be doing. In fact, I meant to be doing a series, or I began doing a series of videos on remembering, because that's what we are meant to be doing. I discovered that we are meant to be remembering because all the knowledge is stored within us already. And there is scripture verse as well. I found it kind of strange when I came across we had to remind, and God remembered, and God remembered he had not done this, so he remembered that the man was only so futile and very man very weak. Oh, he remembered. So this tells me that all the characteristics and mechanisms that we operate from has been direct replica, direct correlation with our creator. And however it had been, we say God is perfect. And what is perfect? Here you hear in our language, you could hear someone say the perfect crime, the perfect murder, this perfection is done as intended. As so if you created something, another person can find some fault with it, but your intention had met the outcome, then it is perfect. So I won't go too much into anything else, but one of the questions that really came to me from a very, very long time ago, if we didn't create ourselves, we did not create ourselves, but obviously we were created with a disposition to take certain positions that would make us, or where we could see ourselves in different conditions, positions, conditions, all those. Okay, so let's see how I can put this. We didn't create ourselves, but we are made with some. It's like Sophia is made as one. Sophia the robot, by the way, the artificial intelligence, the AI Sophia. You will see that in years to come, Sophia will be able to look at you and tell you your future, or the next move that you're going to make before you even make it, because we who created and now passing on all our information and data onto Sophia. And Sophia is now mastering the art of assimilating that information and however storing it and however digesting it or using it whichever way. And more we have this overlap of interaction because we still continue to interact just like we are interacting with God in everything we do, in everything we say, in our every thought. This is what is happening. Our actions, our thoughts, our deeds, our senses, every cell of our being is that an interaction with God. And the more we get to understand that that interaction is a communication with God, we are now becoming closer to God. Now, I'm saying all of that is that speaking of hypnosis, in the way that it reminds me of Jungle Book, where the serpent is trying to get Mogul to go to sleep, look into my eyes, and he's going, So basically, it's that the more we look up to God, the more we become like God. Whatever our idea of God is, the more we look upon that aspect or that perception, is the more we become that which we are focusing on. So watching David, did I say Lion? Yeah, David Lion. I remember the name because I just felt it was very appropriate, very good, because David is 22. I think David was like okay, God's favorite son or whatever, and Lion of course is strong and so on and fiery. So and this is where the hypnosis was happening, and I thought this is so much more spiritual an act, and it's performed in our every action, in our every deed, in everything, but we tend to look at hypnosis in only one aspect of how someone who is seen as an expert packages it, or how we have been taught to see it, to perceive it, and so we make assumptions it's evil or it's no good or it's the devil's work, and whichever way we see it, but our perception, we still get hypnotized in the analogy or idea of what we think it is. So either way, we are still buying into it. I am making all this explanation to, of course, I have written this. I haven't added it yet to see what it comes to. But something very profound came to me when he explained why hypnosis works and why some people find it doesn't work, and the penny drop, so to speak. The penny drop in the sense of, because I do counseling as well, I do clairvoyance and so on, so I do tarot readings, and a lot of it is said to be that you move into someone's, it's like you move into someone's space, you move into someone else's, it's like you are sharing, or you come into union with someone in this time of interaction. And so the person who is focusing on whatever it is, they are in a state of hypnosis, and so could easily connect. You are striking a sort of rapport with this person. You need, and he used the word captivated. This was the word, like I've been saying with copper, capture. In fact, there is so much more to copper. We'll have to do another video on copper. And so it's capture. You capture someone's attention. Of course, the word attention has in it tension. So tension is tight, meaning you've got this person's, they are at tension. They can't move elsewhere. The focus is in this area, and that's the same thing that happens with us and God, or what we see God to be. But the biggest thing that happened in all of this for me is that the whole world, this was what got me thinking, that the whole world has been hypnotized through this COVID-19 or coronavirus. This has been used as the biggest hypnotic exercise mankind could have ever gotten. When I watched and listened to him, I thought this is exactly what has happened to us. We had China, who was wearing their mask for ages and whatever it is, and we were looking at them, and we were, if whether in silence, but we were taking in that it's like looking in the mirror. We were looking in the mirror, and the whole world now have mirrored each other, or mirrored parts of the world, because, oh, you're wearing a mask now, and I'm hearing that you're wearing this mask because you've got this. And so we spend time engaging, interacting, mirroring this other person to show that we really empathize and with them, that we understand their situation. We, of course, role play this game, whether we think and of course, as every game, we find ways to validate those games, don't we? Again, it's like the mother and child. They to have this interaction of growth, whether it was mother and child, or teacher and pupil, or whoever it is, they have to meet. They have to the mother have to stoop down to the child, and child looks up at mother, and there's a message, something is exchanged, and that is so profound. I'm saying we have been hypnotized in the biggest and gigantic way that has never been. I haven't heard of it, but it just came to me so profoundly that we cannot deny it. Because the other thing that happens as well, for instance, when you've been hypnotized, there is a sense of awakening to something new. And so this newness, of course, you've been masked or gagged or whatever it is, and we have gone through changes and changes of this newness. This newness is about the new awakening or remembering. We remember, okay, we were masked last month. We remember we spoke about vaccine. We remember this, we remember that. We remember we had to stay home. We remember we were under lockdown, and we talk about it. And so each time you were coming up, you, of course, you were down. Like when they say, you're hypnotized, you go relax, stay home, stay home, and save lives, And so you have done this, and then you wake up, and it's like, wow, you're almost like thinking you're in a new world, and then what's the next stage? No, you need to go down again, go deeper this time, a deeper level, like tier 4, tier 5, and these are the things that are so important for us to wake up to realizing. that we are gods, and what we are buying into is very important, that we understand the exchange of vibration and frequency that is that is happening. And well, it almost seemed like this a slip of the tongue to say we have been had, but we have participated in this, which is happening in this hypnotic exercise. And so for many of us on this us shape, creating man in our image after our likeness, it is important that we wake up to understand what kind of man we are creating. What are we creating? Okay, so let's just do the overall. I've been hypnotized. So this is 10, 22, 29, 36, 44. So this is 8. Wow, I just did the presentation on the set, and this is what it is. So we mirror each other on the set, because the word set equals 8. And this is what it was as well for Adam and Eve eating of the fruit, the word eat, E-A-T. And we can see three letters, how that interferes. So this is 8. And of course, God is also 3 letters, which is also 8. And this is where we are on the 8th cycle of let us make man in our image after our likeness. Man, for instance, is 3 letters, although man equals 10. Okay, so on the 8th, let, which is the word that puts everything in everything, let equals 10. Okay, so basically, people, we need to acknowledge or understand that we have been hypnotized, and what can we do to create the new man after our image and likeness. So the new man is here on let us make man. So for instance, every what is common here, the common factor is let and the is part of there, so which is 6. Basically, let the would be 7. Let is 1 and the is 6, so this would be 7. And this is what we are saying, how creation is happening all over again. 7 days of creation. People, stay ignited. There is just so much, and I just felt I had to do this video tonight, and I've got ready for bed really, but I've just had to do this. Okay, so stay ignited and united as much as possible, because we are on this us ship. Yeah.